Ocelli Effect is sponsored by WallStreetWindow.com and listeners like you.
And now, the most underrated voice in all media, Chuck Ocelli.
October 6, 2021, allegedly, according to that thing we call a calendar, and this is the show you were looking for. How do I know this? You're hearing what I'm saying. Anyway, Wednesday, the middle of the week, and we are going to open up phone lines here on the Ocelli Effect and go where that leads us. Co-host Spent Kent is with me, and we'll have a couple of announcements about where the show is going, what is going to happen in upcoming weeks and months, and all that. But here we go, day number 3 of the complete broadcast week, maybe, at ochelli.com. Let's see how it all works out. Anyhow, 319-527-5016, 319-527-5016. That is the number to call. And you can also reach out to me on Skype, and I can call you into the show. But if you try calling me, I'm going to bat away the call because I got my Skype open, but we don't need you joining in that way. But if you send me a message, Charles.Ocelli, I can call you into the show if you ask. Otherwise, 319-527-5016. Spent Kent, how you doing?
Hey, how you feeling, man?
Well, not a great deal of improvement over the rest period. What can I say? I kind of addressed this. Yeah, I kind of addressed this during the first 2 shows of the week I did, and I did just produce Don Jeffrey's show, but honestly, not a great deal of improvement. I apparently am going to need to visit the specialist and deal with all that and figure out how to get my eyes back on track, because still having the headaches and the problems, and it's just not stopping. But here I am doing what it is I do anyway. And we are going to make some changes. I see another caller already on the line. I think I know who that is. But again, I want to let you talk about whatever it is you want or set the table. Don't want to focus on what's wrong with me because, nothing can be done about it at the moment. So might as well move on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard a little bit. I checked out bits and pieces of the show. I'm busy doing other things and stuff, so we haven't talked. So I was just like, trying to see, you're coming back this week and you're not feeling much better, so that that kind of sucks. But I guess you're going to inform everybody of what's going to happen and what you're thinking here coming up on the show, I suppose, tonight.
Right. Well, I'll save that.
Whatever, man. Yeah. I'm here for you, brother. Whatever you need, man.
I got you. Well, look, I'm going to
throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm going to save that for a little bit later because I'm going to make some changes, and I've got a couple of people that want to. Gee, that was an odd noise coming out of somewhere. Anyway, something fell down behind me, and I don't know what it was. Anyhow, I don't know. Something fairly heavy fell. I don't know what sounded like on the mic, but anyway, distracted I was for a moment. So no, I've gotten a couple of people that have volunteered to assist with a couple of things. So there may be some new producers, maybe a new host coming up soon, and some people are going to take a little bit of workload off me, and hopefully that helps. But I'll get to that later on because we do have a familiar caller on the line, and I want to get right to him.
Awesome.
So, are you doing Vance-tastic, my friend?
Totally Vance-tastic.
There we go. See, I knew who it was. And it's always good to hear from Vanarchy himself. Good that you're here too, Vance, because, we're going to change formats coming up on the Wednesday show. And why? Because I'm actually going to turn it over to another producer and see if they can assist me in actually pulling it together so that maybe I'm not the one working the controls or anything else. And I'm going to let them run with their ideas and see what happens. Which, by the way, if you're a listener of this show and I'm not doing something that you'd rather hear, or I'm doing something that gets on your nerves and you decide you don't want to tune into the show a particular night of the week because of something I'm doing, let me know. Because waiting 4 months to tell me something, or 6 months, or a year, doesn't let me know what it is that, might be a good idea. You guys may indeed have much better ideas than myself about what it is I should and should not be doing on here. So, and by the by, if you want to volunteer to assist, guess what? I'm open to that concept too. Now, I know Kent definitely talked about assisting, and we're gonna see where things go here, because I'm actually going to put Kent off of the Wednesday shows for a little bit. And I know that he's got some things coming up where he might be doing a whole other thing independently. And I would like to see if we can incorporate that in here, and then it's work I'm not doing, but simply supporting. And I think that would make for a much more diverse network altogether if stuff like that starts to happen. So, I've had a few conversations over the week. I didn't talk to you, Kent, because I didn't want to make phone calls. I was really, a whole thing happened to me toward the end of my break. That now and today there were floods in Macon, Georgia, which I don't see on the news anywhere, but I assure you there's parts of Macon, Georgia that were flash flooded today. And so trying to help out neighbors and things like that have taken up some of my time. Plus, there was a fire and everything else that went on past few days. Since Saturday, it's like the continuous disaster here in Macon, Georgia. So, and I have not been directly impacted. But I'm one of these guys who will not leave people that I think are worthy of assistance behind if I have the power to do so. So that's me. Anyways, and that's my whole household. So this has been one of those things that goes on. Not looking to talk about that tonight.
My question is, so are we doing, we're not doing Wednesdays the same way anymore then?
No, I'm going to put it in the hands of a producer and see what he wants to do and leave it open. I'm not making any demands. I'm just saying, look, you understand what my show is about. Nature Boy, who has been part of the show several times, and you guys have heard from, and has been a supporter of the show, has an idea of how he'd like to produce a night. And it turns out that Wednesday is a perfect night for him to produce. And there may be other upcoming producers to be announced. Okay? But Nature Boy so far is the first one. And in fact, Kent, I offer to you that you have this outdoor concept, and I would like to help you with it and see how that goes. And that way you can record at your leisure, and we can come up with a way to distribute that and make it part of the network too. So, see, it's not like I'm getting rid of Spent Kent. I'm just changing how he might participate.
No, I'm around. Whatever whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to be working on some outdoor stuff in the future, which I'm excited to do. But basically, as far as you go, like I said, man, whatever. We've I'm blue in the face when it comes to talking freedom and natural rights and everything. Anytime you need me as a guest, a co-host, or anything, I'm there for that topic. But other than that, I can tell some wrestling jokes.
Well, see, but that's the other thing is that I know I can turn around and offer you as somebody that they can use in the mix to produce and design a show. So, that's the other thing that's going on here is that unless I got somebody locked in a spot, it's open to it. And here's the other thing, funny thing. But, Vance, you're on the line with me. And same goes for you. I proposed actually that you could be part of a regular rotation of guys for a particular purpose. But again, I may leave that up to a producer to manage that and to design exactly how that works out. But I mean, I told you before I'd love to get like the Vanarchy Hour at some point, and indeed that's one of the things I put on the table that I'd love to just add and make you a regular, not just somebody who calls in, but make you an absolute regular to the situation. I mean, what do you think about that? And I mean, is Wednesday the best night for you or what?
you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays I play poker. Wednesdays just, you know, that's open, and I can give up poker. I'm getting a little burned out on poker and pool. I'm playing pool with the same 5 guys, and, you know, it's like, you know, it's getting a little monotonous, but I do enjoy my poker night, and that's kind of a big, you know.
Well, Thursday's another
around here, but
yeah, Thursday is another night that I may turn over every other Thursday to a producer that I'm a little less sure of than Nature Boy, and see how he does with that. And again, you know, trial and error. Obviously, at any time I can take this back over and take over all the work. But if I can get a couple of people well trained and set to do it, and they're happy to be part of it, I say why not? I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Vance?
And I've been meaning to talk to you, but, you know, the situations, as always is, that it, you know, we run out of time and you're feeling bad and all that, and, you know, so I was hoping to have like a conversation with you at some point about, you know, what you kind of would like, or, you know, what you see my best you know, gimmick would be, if we want to call it that. You know.
All right. Well, look, I'll tell you what. If over the next hour and 45 minutes I don't catch myself a massive migraine, we'll talk after the show. How's that?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, I've been seriously, you know, the main reason I've been hesitant from the first time you brought it up, because I've had, you know, lots of people in the past tell me I should start, you know, my own, you know, YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff. And basically I'm the kind of the opposite of obsessive compulsive, because, you know, I'm just like, you know, I got the laid back thing, and, you know, I don't like a lot of pressure, to make a lot of pressure for myself, and the way I've been approaching all this is real spontaneous and person to person. And, you know, if I could, I work by myself most of the time, so I'm thinking and listening to podcasts and thinking about concepts and things, and if I could just make that come out of my head, what I was thinking, because, you know, then if you're trying to think of something to say that doesn't come out the same, you know what I'm saying.
No, I got you, but you know what you know what that sounds like to me is that maybe you could assist a producer or be a producer, depending. So, you know, I'm trying to think of all different ways. You know,
then it's what's required for that. I got a laptop, but, you know, I live out in the sticks, and I can use my phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you know, things like that. But, you know, it's just a matter if I need to get equipment and, you know, getting that handled or whatever.
No, I got you, but it probably won't require anything that you don't already have. See, that's the thing here. I'm not telling people to make investments. Yeah. It's like, do what you want with what you got, and let's see if we can bring something even better to the table. You know, I don't mind being the only guy doing the work, but it's getting to me now for certain reasons, and if somebody else helps with it one way or another, I'm more than happy at this point, you know. And the cool thing about this, in my mind, is that, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I did analyze some numbers while I was off, and, you know, the Wednesday night shows with the Lucy Parsons material did a whole lot better, got way better responses, way more downloads and everything than our non-topic, just loose discussions. And that was all brought about by you. So what I'm saying is, you figured out a way to bring something to the table that needed to be heard. I thought it was excellent. I mean, the one show where we split it between the guy who did the global citizen thing and also the other discussion, that did well also, but that was a separate interview that we did with 1 hour. So where we had a single hour that was devoted to something and then followed it up with phone calls, it seemed like the single hour was the thing that people liked better. And honestly, some of that stuff was either inspired in part or in full by you. So, you know, I'm just saying, even if you were the guy advising the producers, I don't know what job that would be, but you might be really important, because sometimes I'm sitting here trying to come up with ideas. Where is it we need to go? What is it people need to be informed of? What is it they're not hearing elsewhere? And honestly, I don't know. Maybe new ideas need to come into this, and I'm more than happy to get people that want to participate in the way they can. So that's how that's going to go forward. Meanwhile, we spent like 15 full minutes now on show discussion and structure. I'm sure this is so interesting for people that just want to tune in and get a podcast. But, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I do want to turn to the regular structure of this show for this Wednesday, because it's going to be the last time we do it this way. To my knowledge, I don't know. Because, again, I'm going to turn it over to a producer and see what it is they produce. So Wednesdays from starting next week will be designed by our friend Nature Boy. So that's the way that's going to go. And like I said, there will be more producers and more hosts, and hopefully this is one of those cumulative snowball type things that occurs here. And who knows, maybe it's a bunch of us that work this out and create the thing that needs to be, that is absent elsewhere. Because that's what my ultimate goal is anyway, and I would be more than happy to have everybody who cares participate in it. So, anyway, moving on.
And I'm definitely intrigued and on board, and been, like I say, thinking about it. Things have been mentioned in the past, and I've just been waiting for that to come to fruition, and well, I guess that's what's happening. So whatever,
maybe me being slowed down for a couple of months is kind of a blessing, because it forces me to have to think maybe I can't do everything, and that's probably a good thing. I mean, come January, hopefully I can straighten all this out and get back to my usual normal, just about blind self. But as of now, I'm going to accept the help that's being offered. And by all means, send me information, suggestions, or volunteer statements to info@ochelli.com. And I'll be more than happy to pick up those messages, or you can send it to blindjfkresearcher@gmail.com. Message me however it is you can message me. There's plenty of ways to contact me on the website, so there they all are. And, by all means, get a hold of me if you've got an idea and you want to get involved. Let's do it. Let's make this the voice that needs to be heard, and be a chorus, because I'm not all happy about being a solo artist all the time anyway. So anyhow, that's the way it goes. But
I just want to say something real quick.
Yeah, I was just going to turn it over to you.
In case anybody's wondering, I am totally cool with everything that's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I got Lee and Boy Wonder were saying, hey, we're going to do something, and reaching out to me recently, and I'm like, guys, I barely get to do this anymore myself. Are you sure you want to commit, Lee? And Lee said he would do something, so I would talk to you. So those guys got something going on. The only thing I really do is the nature stuff and the freedom stuff now. I'm burned out. I don't really feel like doing shows every week anyway. That's kind of when I said a couple of weeks ago, if you wanted to do, twice a month or whatever. But I do like to help out, so I'm here for that. This is, we could maybe explore some different things. Like I said, I got the nature thing going on. I got, a couple of guys, Lee and his son, trying to getting back into it and bringing his son into it, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go, guys. I'm just living here, doing my thing, and talking to people when I can. And if I do a nature show, it's going to be more about nature, but there will always be a freedom message in there. That's what I do. I talk about natural rights, talk about freedom. That's the front lines there to me in this freedom movement. Yeah, and that's what I do.
Well, and the thing is...
And also I could tell a couple of dirty jokes if we're not getting censored, but that's a different story.
Well, see, but that's the thing, is I actually have this, because you and I talked a little bit about this, so I figured if I give you more of a, look, it's not structured, so you have to have an hour, you have to have 30 minutes even, you can do it whatever length you want, and the way it goes in, it doesn't go across the full network. It's part of the network, but it's not out there in any place where we're going to have any problems with it. You say what you want, you tell the jokes you want, and you can focus on whatever. Nobody's going to press you to look at the news or anything else. You do you.
Yeah, and, I'm just doing, I just like you, Chuck, you're my bro. I like to help out how I can. This is kind of me doing my part, if you will. But, I'm getting older. I'm getting more tired of it. I'm, like I said, blue in the face of it. And it's the way it's been after, 7 years or whatever on the radio, doing different shows and everything, and just blue in the face.
There you go.
I'm tired. That's why I want to do a nature show, and if I could sit down around the campfire, make just little points about freedom, little points about natural rights, little points about empathy, little points about love. That's the way to do it.
Well, like I said,
and then anytime you need a guest, co-host, whatever, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm just telling everybody I'm cool with everything.
I got you, but that's the thing, is that if you're going to do it your way, and then in a flexible way so that you do it at the pace and the speed you want. Look, if you could give me something once a month, if you just gave me a recording once a month and you wanted that distributed, I'll do it. And that's it. If you want to just do that, if you want to help out other ways, like I said, we'll find a spot. There's plenty of work to be done. A lot of people don't realize how much there is to be done with this kind of stuff. And, there's plenty to be done. So, like
I said, whatever you got to promote, I promote. I get, I can always bring some guests on. Mm-hmm. I got people I talk to. People have been busy these days. Haven't gotten the guests on, but I put the shout-outs here and there, and I brought some good guests on the show.
Yeah.
And we've had some great topics. So anytime, I'm always willing to work with people and do things. But, I kind of like the way this is going. Let Captain Trips get in there and do his thing. And I want to make him. Guys, call on me when you need me.
Yeah, I want to make Trips more regular.
I'll have some nature footage real soon because it's getting near the season down here in Florida. The weather's getting better. It's getting more camping time.
Right, it's the right time. And Captain Trips I want to make more regular, but, I got to wait for his schedule to settle down a little bit. And then I want him to have a regular spot, which will feature a lot of stuff discussing the medical situation. But that's because that's in his wheelhouse. That's what he can discuss very easily. And I know he's got a lot of other points of view, stuff about freedom and about, individuals' natural rights and things like that. He wants to talk about that stuff too. But we're going to turn to some of his medical expertise on a more regular basis because people are always thrilled with that guy. And he always manages to come up with some very interesting information and observations, and I appreciate him. So we're going to make him more regular, and this is the way it's going to go. Also, we might hear from Regular Joe a little more soon.
Nature Boy producing the show, right? He's going to be producing the show, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be producing on Wednesdays. So, but that's it. I have no idea what he's going to come up with. I have some ideas about where he might go. But other than that, I'm gonna run with it and see how he runs is basically what's gonna happen. And who knows? Maybe he needs to take over all of them. We'll see.
There you go. Right. I've been thinking, as I've been thinking about, doing something like that. I've been thinking, me and Nature Boy would probably make a pretty good team. So,
I agree with that. Now, the only thing is, I'd rather, and I know Kent's been co-hosting just from his phone, but I'd rather find a way to get you on something more than a phone if we could. But other than that, no, I had that thought also, that you guys would be a great combination. Anyhow, we got another caller, so let's go to him. And you're on the air. I think I know who this is, too.
Jimmy James.
It is. Vance quietly guessed it before you said it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, actually.
Great. Well, good to hear. I know you were participating on the Donald Jeffries show, which I did just before this. Tonight he had a doctor on, interesting guy who's running for governor of Minnesota now. So that's fascinating.
Governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, well, not that one. Different guy. So this guy's actually a doctor and is rather concerned about the COVID situation and, how people are being treated and how people's freedom is being curtailed under the auspices of this thing. And I thought that was an interesting part of the show, but you definitely participated, called into Don's show too. Had a couple of questions about JFK stuff there, but what's on your mind this hour, Jimmy James?
I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have that effect on people. My apologies.
I hear Van start laughing. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Look, we might as well. Look, Jimmy James.
I forget which balls I'm shooting half the time, and my stripes are solids, and I shoot the other guy's balls.
You know, I started doing that. I started doing that a couple of years ago when I was still able to play. Go ahead, Jimmy James.
I was just gonna ask, Cat, what's his nature show gonna be like? Is it gonna be like about hunting, fishing, stuff like that, or what?
It's gonna be more just kayaking around this area. Not saying I won't throw a line in the water. I don't really fish, but there'll probably be some fishing at some point because this is one of the best fishing areas. Hunting, no hunting going on. I'm over here in the New Smyrna Beach area in the Mosquito Lagoon, basically the Indian River, the intercoastal waterway, and that runs all the way up and down the coast. So it separates the beach from the inland, Route 1. So I live right off of Route 1, and I kayak, and there's islands you can go out. Most of it's mangroves, but they have certain islands you can camp at, and you gotta pay whatever $20 to do it, but and there's different things going on. So I mean, there's a lot of good fishing. I am going to try to get some people that fish on the show, because it's one of the best fishing areas. But I'm not a fisher. I'll be talking a lot about kayaks, camping, how I set up my gear, and and then basically the joys of camping. The nature. Tapping into the nature, enjoying the nature. And of course, I'll, especially if I'm asked, I'll throw out some freedom information, some natural rights information, anarchy information.
So instead of van life, you're going to go
want
with...
me to send...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, van life. You're going to do a van life show, only it'll be kayak life.
Might as well just call it kayaking with Spent Kent.
I'll kayak to my campsite, in the Indian River. Whatever I come across, one day I might go out and look for gators or whatever in the kayak, and just try to get some footage and stuff like that.
Maybe you have to name yourself Camping Kent.
That'd be pretty cool.
Camping Kent. Kayaking with Camping Kent. There
I
you
got
go.
to stick with the Spent Kent routine, unfortunately.
Kayaking and camping with Spent Kent. I don't know.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be called Anarchy Outdoors.
Oh, Anarchy Outdoors. That's right. That's what the name. I was trying to think of the name you had for it. That's what it was. Anarchy Outdoors.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Wait. What about natural anarchy?
Well, I mean, anarchy is natural.
Exactly. See, it's got a double meaning there, huh?
There you go. Suggestions.
Well, no,
for
I mean,
yourself.
if you defend natural rights and you're an anarchist, it's the same thing. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Natural anarchy. It sounds good. I ain't gonna lie about that. It's stuff I like. Natural and anarchy, nature and anarchy.
The tagline, like revelation through conversation, can be kayaking and camping with Spent Kent.
There you go. That's what it basically. That's what it is.
There you go.
And I'll throw in some jokes and stuff, and set up my hammock or my tent, whatever I'm doing. I'll have a fire, explain stuff like that, what I'm doing, how I just do my thing, and then maybe sitting around the fire halfway through the video, I'll sit and talk a little freedom for a few minutes or whatever, have a beer, that type of thing, and then packing up and getting out the next morning type of video. So yeah,
talk to random Floridians. That'd be pretty interesting on its own.
You know,
well, yeah, I would like to get some of those like serious fishermen. You know, they're all everywhere. So I'll have some fishermen talking fishing in that area.
You know,
This is a unique area.
Yeah, I wasn't going to make.
Lots of fish.
Yeah, I wasn't going to make suggestions, Jimmy James, but I did have the same thought that, you know, Kent could encounter people while he's out there sometimes, right? And, like, just talk to him for a couple of minutes. Not like a long interview, but like, hey, how you doing? You know, what are you doing out here? And maybe somebody is just out there to fish or hunt or whatever, and they might be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing, you know, this is my... That could be a real interesting thing there. Like, whoever it is I run into might end up on here, too. And I don't know, that would be cool. That's a good thought right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, you guys got to understand, like in this area where I'm at, you know, in Florida, like just my normal neighborhood, there isn't really much of an out there. The out there is like the distance that the bridge crosses to get to New Smyrna Beach, to the ocean side. That's that river. It's the Indian River.
Right.
That's where I'll be doing most of my footage. And unless I take off and go to the St. Johns River, go out west a little bit, or go down somewhere else, you know, and do different trips, which I will do eventually. But like most of my just like neighborhood normal stuff, there's, you know, this isn't like those videos from Newfoundland or whatever where they're up in the wild where people haven't been in 1,000 years or whatever, you know, and they're doing all that bushcrafting and everything. No, nothing like that. Cell phones will always work. Because, like, if your cell phone doesn't work from Route 1, cross the bridge over to the beach, you know, that 2-minute drive, then, or whatever it is, then, you know, you got a bad cell phone.
Well, you never know, too.
I'll be in the nature between those two places.
Well, you never know, too, because
there's a few campsites, a lot of good kayaking trails.
Well, you never know because
nature.
But you never know because depending on the waterfront area you go to, I mean, you might hit yourself a hot spot where you can meet women too. I mean, that's a possibility.
I mean, I can literally go from one of the bars to the shore. I can go to and then get my kayak and go to my campground.
Yeah.
I can order a pizza from anywhere I camp and just paddle into the Route 1 side, if that's where it is, like the Papa John's or whatever, and get a pizza delivered to that area and then just paddle back to the campground.
Oh,
so that's what it's spent Kent type of camping, you know, nature show. Definitely, you know, beers and pizza.
Well, there you have it.
And a lot of good nature and some freedom talk and some natural rights talk and all that good stuff. So.
But you never can tell who might be attracted to your campfire, depending, right? So I'm just saying, it might be an interesting, just, you know, little mini reality show out there. All right.
I should have the strippers episode where I take a bunch of strippers camping out in one of them islands, have them dancing around all over the place. That'd be great.
Well, if you can afford to pay strippers,
in the future. All right, guys.
If you can afford to pay strippers to go out and camp with you, I don't know, man. What are you doing?
Just to make a show. No, Vance should watch it though, for sure. Anyways,
well, hell, I'd watch it. I mean,
I think everybody will watch it.
I mean, you know,
pay-per-view. There you go.
Strippers in the woods. I might give you a couple donations if you got good lighting. You know, I mean, I'm just saying.
I got a buddy that's a fishing guide down in Corpus, and every now and then he has a few trips like that. So I've seen some video footage. You know?
Yeah, well, there you go. You never know what people are getting up to when the sun goes down. Anyhow, so we didn't really get to serious topics. I asked Jimmy James about it. He had a couple of questions to spend Kent, but Vance, I kind of shortchanged you. I mean, I know I brought up the show deal and all that, but anything else on your mind this week in particular? You know, I mean, are you interested in the current reality show with the other survivalist guy out there? Supposedly this laundry guy is a survivalist, and you know, Dr. Phil and Dog the Bounty Hunter are on the case trying to find him. You know, that's a funny thing. I'm really surprised Spent Kent has never run into Dog the Bounty Hunter there in Florida. I don't know why, but I would just think.
I saw a video where they were asking dogs' opinion on where the laundry guy is, and I didn't watch it, but it just came up in the little feed thing or whatever. So I know he's paying attention to that apparently, and you got to have some colorful commentary to push your agenda or whatever. I don't know, that whole thing is kind of weird to me. So.
Well, he was flying an airplane over that forest area there that said Aloha Brandon or whatever. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I know he's got a new wife, and he's hoping everybody forgets that he got really angry when one of his kids was dating somebody black. But other than that, I don't know, man. Dog the Bounty Hunter loose in Florida.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
Oh, man. I don't know what to say about that guy. But when I saw Dr. Phil get involved, I was like, you got to be kidding me. When you go from Dr. Phil and Dog the Bounty Hunter to, the saga of whether it almost sounds like a Law and Order SVU episode that somebody threw away a couple of years ago, it's just not good. But I was just curious because, that is going on in Florida.
Track.
What's that?
Bears like to track to each other, so I guess.
I guess. I don't know. I just thought maybe you would have heard something. Maybe somebody on the ground mentioned it. Who knows? You know what? I don't pay attention to the map in Florida, so for all I know, you could be, 3 hours away from this is all going on. Anyways, it is what it is. Florida is an open-air insane asylum, so guaranteed your trips out into the woods there would be interesting, especially if you make sure to film your interactions with God knows who you might encounter. I don't know if you'll, run into one of those stripper situations like Vance's friend in Corpus Christi there. Crispy. Nice. Well spent, Kent, and Corpus Christi. Perfect. Anyways, so I don't know if you had anything else on your mind, Vance, but, go ahead. Vance? Oh. Perhaps mute button.
I had my mic. I had my mic up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say Corpus Christi. That's when you get cremated, right?
Maybe. I don't know. But what else is on your mind, Vance?
One of the stories that I'm wondering if any of y'all caught just in the last couple of days was a girl that quit at Walmart. One of the employees in Louisiana, I think it was. And she picked up the intercom thing, it's like, attention Walmart shoppers and associates. My name is Karen, or whatever her name was, I can't remember. I've been working in the electronics department for 5 years at Walmart.
And then she dropped an F-bomb and quit, right?
Huh?
And she dropped an F-bomb and quit on the intercom, right?
Yeah, she told them off and
yeah,
called out the boss as a pervert and quit,
Yeah, that video.
And I was expecting applause, and maybe it just cut off, and maybe there was people, because if I was in that store, I'd have been like, going, hell yeah, and telling all the employees, y'all should all do that. Y'all should all just walk out right now. Just walk out, let them know what's up. That's how stuff changes,
Oh, please, I would have been yelling, right on. Go. Yeah, that would be one of the rare instances where I might use the phrase, you go, girl.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what I'd have said. And like I said, if there's any employees around, I've been, y'all should go. Y'all should just all leave right now. I'll just take my stuff and go.
Well, it won't harm them any. Okay, now I'm not sure if that's an old clip, because I saw something like that. I don't know, maybe like 8 weeks ago, and I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. But what are my thoughts on it? I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it, except it makes me smile. But I don't know. Kent, you got any thoughts on this?
Somebody quitting Walmart with the on the intercom. Yeah, it almost. I think they watched the episode of Impractical Jokers where they did that, and they had to tell them what to do, and if you didn't say it, you lose the episode or whatever. You ever seen Impractical Jokers? I'm going to quit today because I'm going to pursue my dream of becoming a ballet dancer or something, whatever.
I've seen the one where they have the guy.
It's just, typical what the world we live in.
Yeah, no,
crappy jobs. I mean, if somebody gets mad, I don't blame them.
No, fair enough. I think it's the same show that I saw once where they had like a guy on a date, and they got an earpiece in his ear, and he's saying all kinds of crazy things to this woman, and like they're trying to see how long it takes before she walks away, but he's got to try and keep her there as long as he can and say the crazy stuff. Is that the same show?
It must be a new one because I haven't seen that one, or it's a real old one they don't show often.
It could be.
They always show the same old ones on True TV or whatever. But I love Impractical Jokers. I think they're funny.
Well, I thought it was hilarious because the guy was like saying just like crazy stuff, like I've got fish eyeballs in my pocket, and she's like, what? And like, and that's them. And then he's like, yeah, don't leave though. Wait, just wait. I have something to tell you. The dollhouse is on fire. What? Like just weird stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna order raw pork. You want some? I mean, just weird stuff while they're sitting in the restaurant. And eventually she gets totally like, yeah, I gotta go, and leaves. But he keeps her there like just about the right amount of time, I guess, to win whatever the prize was. And then they tell her, oh, we had hidden cameras, we were telling him what to say. But
I don't know if that was Impractical Jokers, but they do crazy stuff in restaurants. I mean, the punishment that Joe had when he had to jump on those tables and find the ones that would break, there was like 13 of them. Okay. And he was like jumping on tables, and like they're regular people, they didn't know, they weren't in on it, the people.
Right.
And he just like smashed their spaghetti all over the place. And then he'd break the tables, and people were freaking out that weren't part of it,
Yeah, well.
I don't know. If anybody's seen that show, it's funny, though. Anyways.
Well, it sounds like fun. Anyway, I just remember I don't remember that was even the name of the show or whatever, but I just saw a show where somebody did that, and I was like, that's actually fairly clever and funny. Sort of turning on the head, the old trope of, okay, we'll put some headphones on you, and I'll tell you what to say deal. But turning it on its head so that you're just saying crazy stuff, and let's see how long it takes before the other person just like bails. I think that's pretty funny. But what are you gonna do? Entertainment's entertainment. But back to that Walmart thing. No, that was a real clip that this woman did. I think Quentin on the intercom is pretty good, though. I really do. Like, that's something I would not normally think of. Like if you're gonna walk out, and I've decided to walk out on jobs before, but never quite like that, where I'm announcing to a store full of people that this place sucks, and my boss is a pervert and everything else. That's hilarious to me, because if you were there that day, you definitely don't forget it, and plus you could be a viral video online somewhere. So why not? What the hell? She probably got herself another job somewhere, but likely not at a Walmart. Anyways, you got any thoughts on this, Jimmy James?
Excuse me.
I caught him in the middle of a bomb rip.
People at Walmart. Is that like banned now or something?
What, you get banned from? Yeah, people do get banned from the Walmart. People get banned from all kinds of stores. Where in the old days,
no. There used to be a show called, or like YouTube videos that's called People of Walmart, and they would show like real people in Walmart and play funny music.
Oh yeah, like somebody like hanging out of their T-shirt that does not quite cover them, and that's all they're wearing and stuff like that. Yeah. No, I've seen that.
Yeah, it just showed all the spectacles, but I haven't seen it in like 10 years. Maybe it got banned or something.
Yeah, maybe it did. I know that there's a
they've got so many of those things out there. You just look up pranks on Walmart. Or anything, you'll find all kinds of different stuff. I mean, they got guys out there. What I like is when they moan in their ear. Have you ever checked out those pranks on YouTube, moaning in the ear? guys will be sitting there, like, looking at something on the shelf, and some dude will come up and just go, right in his ear, like, all loud. And they turn around, what's that? You know, they react and everything. There's tons of those, too. They're hilarious. Anyways, come on, guys, get in with the comedy. YouTube's got tons of them.
I might hit some dude moaning in my ear. I got to tell you.
I seen the ones with the magicians that go through the drive-thrus and they do like weird magic tricks to freak the people out working there.
Mm.
And they also had Stone Cold E.T. go through the drive-thru, going through White Castle to get one of them cheeseburgers with a little bit of onions. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, well, you know, they had the Ice Cold promotion with Ice-T and Stone Cold Steve Austin. What were they doing, calling up for people to rent furniture or something? I don't even know. They got some commercial together.
Some cheap-ass commercial, and Stone Cold and Ice-T are up there. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous.
Oh, I'm reminded it's laundry detergent. Right. Okay, laundry detergent, and it washes in cold water. So, yeah, it's some stupid thing like that. But
Stone and Ice, I don't know, whatever.
Well, Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Playing on the cold part. You know.
So, you know, you put them together that way, Stone Cold Ice-T, right? Anyways, the people at Walmart...
We just gave them a marketing idea now.
Yeah, we did, for free, too. But on Twitter, I got to tell you, everyone's... like, I'd say once, twice a month, I get in my newsfeed one of these, you know, go look at these crazy pictures of people at Walmart, and it's some clickbait website. So I see that all the time. But I don't know, Ken, I haven't seen that on YouTube in a while. I think you're right. They might have taken some of it down. I don't know what happened, but some of that stuff is strange. You know, people just like sleeping on a rack, you know, and things like that. Like you go down an aisle and somebody's just like, you know, laying there with the dog toys, sleeping, stuff like that, and it's pretty crazy videos.
Oh, they got all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm just saying, when you check out the pranks,
straight up taking a dump.
Oh, well, there was that.
There's one where they had a I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the woman squatted down. She's wearing a dress. She just squats down and takes a dump right in the aisle and just gets up and walks away. I saw that one.
It's disgusting.
That was pretty foul, but it was like... but the amazing part of it is, and look, I know we're not accomplishing anything here tonight, but the amazing part of that is you think to yourself, like, I can't imagine just doing that, especially not because she doesn't even look drunk or anything. It's just like, okay, you know what, I got to go. And she just squats down, does it, and walks away like she didn't even do it. And doesn't even, you know, doesn't even clean it. Just like, okay, done with that, moving on. Where's my double stuffed, triple stuffed Oreos? I don't know. You know, just what the hell goes through somebody's mind? I'm just going to squat in the middle of an aisle of any store. I mean...
What's worse is when the dude, you know, he's standing there looking at the baked beans, and he starts shaking his leg, and a couple of turds fall out of his shorts. That's even worse.
I never saw that one. I never saw that one. I did see some other ones of, like, you know, 400-pound woman with, like, you know, a sheer dress on and a thong on the outside of the pants and stuff. Like, that stuff's pretty funny. Or that dude who's, like, clearly just, like, a long-haired, like, definitely past 50 scumbag, dressed in this weird way that looks like he's wearing I don't know, like a cartoon woman in a bathing suit or whatever. Like as a shirt and part of an outfit, or that the other weird picture of, like, the guy is in a dress and the girl is sort of dressed like a guy, and it's totally like, you know, the dude's carrying a purse, the woman's like, they seem to be together. It's I don't understand what's going on. It's just weird visuals of all kinds. So, yeah, Walmart can be an adventure in and of itself. Gotta say that.
Look, they got so many funny-ass prank videos out there on YouTube, though. Like a guy will get, like, an embarrassing message called in a quiet library and it's like all vulgar or something, you know, or he'll think his headphones are in. He'll act like he thinks his headphones are in, and he'll put in a song, you know, and he's in the middle of a library, totally quiet, and it's like, you know, ooh, touch me. It's like just real stupid stuff like that. And they start looking around and laughing at. It's really vulgar. I can't do it on the show, but you know, it's basically touchy stuff, and they all look over, and they finally, one guy, you know, somebody, either a girl or somebody, whoever their guy, goes up and says, "Hey man, you're not plugged in. Everybody's hearing it." Oh, what? He takes off his headphones and he gets embarrassed and runs out of there. There's like tons of those types of videos. The moaning in the ear, the fart ones are funny too, where he's got that little fart machine and he goes around and he acts like he bends over like somebody's looking at someone, he just farts and then he gets all mad.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's tons of them. Hilarious.
So we got another caller.
Anyway.
We got another caller, and I don't know when you called in. I didn't look, but you're live. And we're really talking about nothing so far, but new callers always get to dictate the topic. 319-527-5016. You too can join in, you just listening out there. But meanwhile, brand new caller, you're live.
What's going on, Chuck? It's Trip.
Hey, man. How you doing?
What's going on?
So, Trip
all right. hanging in there.
It's Trip.
Yep.
How you doing there, brother?
I'm doing all right there, brother.
What's up, Trippy?
No, here we go. We're gonna have battling Venturas here.
Man, I don't know. I've like I said, we're hanging in there. I got a new dog today. I got a new bull mastiff today. So.
Bull mastiff, huh?
His name. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Rambo, we called him.
Ah, puppy or full grown?
Yeah, no, he's 7 weeks old, man. He's a little guy right now, but that ain't gonna last long.
Yeah, he's only gonna be easy to feed for a couple of weeks, man. then it's gonna get out of control. Oh man.
Right.
Cool though. Nah, dogs are
Well,
great.
you got to keep them away from those gay frogs. The frogs are gay. They're humping my dog. Infowars.com.
Sure.
You forgot the male enhancement.
That was your video, brother. I've seen that recently. It's hilarious. The gay frogs, and you're out there on
Does
your
that
deck.
dude got a show anymore?
Who, Alex Jones?
He's also
Does
been,
Alex Jones have a show?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's got his own deal, but he also is like, he's still kept like all of his radio affiliates. You just like can't really find a lot of all those old things like on YouTube or wherever, Twitter, Facebook, blah blah blah. But but he's been going on like Tim Pool's show and whatever, a lot of the comedians and the other people that care to have him on. Does some pretty decent guest spots, but
I don't
Does
know.
he do Rogan?
yeah, I don't. It's been. I mean, you know how it goes with Rogan. It's not like it's consistent or too often, but yeah, he's done Rogan since he got in Austin. I think he's done Rogan twice since Rogan left to go to Austin. So,
Well, that makes sense.
Neighbors at this point, but
Two guys I won't listen to. Together. So perfect.
Yeah, word.
right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want. Yeah, I mean, whatever you asked. So
I'm just saying, that's me. That's me. You do what you do.
I
You.
tell you what's really.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just something that's really chapping my ass. It's really getting out of control. I know that other than everything that's going on right now, but man, I don't know if y'all discussed it at all. But these ships hanging out, essentially bordering every body of water surrounding North America with everything that we need. I mean, my business is just. I mean, I'm doing okay, but it's getting pretty nuts out there with the shortages of everything from microchips to paper and glue and just all kinds of things. It's getting pretty gnarly.
Why ain't
out
the
there.
ships coming in exactly? What is their excuse?
Well, I had a funny they keep saying shortages, but then they say there's no dock workers and they're paying everybody to get home. And I saw a few weeks ago, actually, most of the stuff that comes in from anywhere on the Pacific is like 2 main ports in Southern California is where most of that, like an overwhelming, like 80+% of stuff that we get in comes from like 2 ports in Southern California. So, and they're paying everybody.
Guanini's got to be one of them.
Well, see, here's the problem with that, right, is that on the East Coast, there are more than 2 main ports, and they're still getting shipments, and still we got shortages, which are national. So, you know, distribution, they're not going to truck stuff from California to New Jersey, say. You know what I mean? So,
I'm also thinking the thought that I had earlier, which, you know, struck me funny and sad at the same time. Let me get this right. We're firing teachers and healthcare workers and bringing in National Guard and medically trained National Guard to do their jobs, and we can't get some of those guys filling in the, you know, if it really is not manufactured crisis, well, why can't we get some of these guys to work the docks? You know, if you got National Guard being teachers and healthcare workers, you know, I think we can do some dock work as well if that's what they're going to do.
See, but this is why it doesn't make any sense.
We got 30,000 new Haitians.
See, this is why it doesn't.
We got 30,000 new Haitians.
Yeah, well, but hold on.
Give them something to do.
Yeah, hold on. Here's the problem. That's why that doesn't make any sense. If it was simply a shortfall in a particular sector like that, it could be. I mean, I'm not all for mobilizing anything that's remotely military, okay, to go do things like this, but it could be solved. That's not the issue. This supply chain issue isn't even about the imports. This is something that's being done across the board. It is not just, you know, some of these goods that are coming in, but it is also the services that are now being restricted. And it's so across, like I say, just across the board. You've got, you know, people used to complain to me all the time about, well, you know, you don't want socialized medicine, Chuck, because that would be terrible. You'd have to wait for stuff. Yeah, try and get something done right now. Even in a place where your medicine isn't socialized, guess what? You're waiting. Everything is delayed. Everything is pushed back. The only thing that I don't see having trouble being distributed across the country, honestly, is drugs. And what do I mean by that? All the pharmaceutical companies, with the only 3 companies, mind you, that distribute the majority of anything remotely pharmaceutical across the country, they're having no supply chain issues. But if you want canned carrots, if you want, you know, textiles, if you want stuff that was imported, you know, for next to nothing just a little while ago, if you want stuff that was even manufactured here, everything is on delay. They're now going to, you know, redo the postal service again, so don't worry. If you're trying to mail it, forget it. And outside of...
the other thing I was going to bring up, mailing and domestic trucking is taking, like, you know, an insane amount of time, comparatively speaking, you know.
Everything has been universally slowed down, and everything has been shorted. You can't tell me that, you know, cargo ships... You see, that's the thing. Some people go, it's cargo ships. And I'm like, yeah, but that problem would alleviate itself if there weren't other problems. There is a program here that I don't think anybody's actually laid their hands on, where all of this stuff is being restricted. Everything is being restricted. You have a complete slowdown here. And, you know, like everybody complained about, oh, we ran out of toilet paper during the pandemic. You didn't run out of toilet paper. What happened is, based on the corporate model that was put into place for distribution, where you have on-demand deliveries, that is not a tenable system. You have to be able to warehouse and bring things, you know, remotely. If you're transferring physical goods, you have to be able to stock them somewhere. Okay, they don't just appear from, you want them from China, they get here the next day. Not going to happen. Okay, you want them from anywhere next day. Not going to happen. Now, I can't get stuff from Florida as fast as I used to get
Right.
things from Italy, right? Which is crazy.
That's what I mean. You're seeing this domestically as well. Like, I mean, I don't have to tell anybody, even going to the grocery store, stuff that you know is made right here, you know, that and it's odd too. You look at some of the products.
Right.
And these are not like, and I mean even food products, like they're not, the way the whole thing is going is completely, you know, by the wayside. It's not feasible at all. And you're like, really, I can't get ramen noodles or whatever, like, or one brand of like hot sauce or you know, just certain weird normal items that you wouldn't think is like, oh really, they're having a hard time making this hot sauce that I love, or this brand of soda that I like.
Yeah, try and get,
or whatever.
Try and get peaches. Yeah, try and get peaches in the state of Georgia. You know, the Georgia peaches. Try and get them.
Absolutely.
Okay, what I'm saying is across the board. And you know what the giant red flag is? I'm going to go to a break here real quick, Trip, because it's that time and I've actually gone over a little. But I want to continue to discuss this with everybody because this is an important issue. We were having fun, but this is important. When you see that one of the greatest retail distribution hubs on the planet, not, you know, let's not talk Amazon because they're not having problems unless they're using the U.S. Postal Service. So other than that, Amazon seems to be doing just fine with their warehousing and distribution. Strange, isn't that? But when you take them out of the equation, you look at something which has one of the best distribution systems for products on the planet, bar none, Walmart. Anybody, and I got people on here right now from all different parts of the country. Tell me you haven't been to a Walmart recently where they're out of common items, they've got empty or near empty shelves. That was never the case. And you can tell me about the lag from the pandemic all you want, but I got to tell you, I started seeing these inconsistencies in supply chains a couple of years ago, and they have just gradually, incrementally been increased. I'm not saying I understand the full agenda or I even understand by the methodology how this has been done. But, you know, like I've complained already, I need a special doctor. I make an appointment at the beginning of September. I can't get in until January, okay, for my eyes. That's never happened to me in my life. But here we are. I got other people I know that are trying to get things done with medicine, with legal issues, with it doesn't matter. Anything you're trying to get done, every process has been slowed down. Every product has been slowed down, whether it's printer ink or it's, you know, the stuff to repair the iPhone from 3 generations ago, or it's T-shirts. Everything has been slowed down here. And when you see something like that,
it's also pick and choose. It's also pick and choose because remember, they got a whole fleet of new 13 iPhone 13s. You know what I mean? So it's weird, the stuff that they seem to have a very huge abundance of, and then some things that they don't, which make zero sense whatsoever.
It's building their monopoly. It's the monopoly of the whole thing.
Well,
like
the scarcity.
There is no competitor.
Yeah, see, the scarcity. I get that and the idea of monopolization, but here's the problem. You would think that somebody would step in and compete here. I'll give you a quick, for instance, one of the most common types of printer cartridges. Now, this is going to sound silly. You can't get it. Try getting it. The common black cartridge that goes in like almost every cheap, stupid printer they sold you in the past 5 years, you can't get the printer cartridge. You go and try and get it. And I thought maybe it was just here, you know. Went to all the office superstores, went to the Walmart, went everywhere. Nobody's got the cartridge. You want to buy a new printer, they can do that for you. You want to buy something that's expensive, they can do that for you. But they've artificially squeezed all these things that you think. I mean, if I was somebody who had, you know, a couple $100 million to invest, I might start by flooding the market immediately with some printer cartridges, you know, or something like that to make a profit.
Never mind the fact that it costs twice as much as well, you know.
And I can tell you how to cure the situation is that 99.9% of us get vaccinated and they'll let us have our stuff back.
That I do think that's a definite part of the agenda.
See, well, it's absolutely part of it. But what's freaking me out, honestly, Trip, is that as much as I can see part of this, I can't see the full thing. I don't know where the blind spot is.
Well, we're in uncharted territory. Like, I know you're backed up against a break, and we can definitely discuss this on the back end. But there is something about what's happened over the past year and a half that we are now also, and we've seen the signs, and we've prepped as good as we can, knowing what we've known and researched for a decade or two now. Right. Most of us, but now we are in a certain uncharted territory where it is a little bit, there's a lot of balls being juggled right now, and it's hard to tell which one is the main culprit or what's going to make the dominoes fall.
Well, right, and the thing is that they got us busy chasing the balls, and we're kind of forgetting who the actual jugglers are. I mean, this is what's going on, and you're right. I hate it when people use that term uncharted territory, and I'm not picking on you, I'm just telling you, because they overused it for so long. But here's the problem. You're dead on point. This is exactly where we are. We are in a situation now where the reason why I'm not able to fully lay out what's going on is because it is different. I don't have a template to go to from before. Something is very different here. And I don't know exactly how dangerous it is, but I got a bad feeling, brother. I really do.
Yeah.
We'll continue to talk about this in the next hour. Let's see now. We got Jimmy James, we got Vanarchy, we got Spent Kent, and we got Trip Hugh with us. And hopefully they'll all stick around for the next hour, and you can join us as well at 319-527-5016, 319-527-5016. The Ocelli Effect continues after this.
Revelation through conversation.
WallStreetWindow.com. Gold, silver, the stock market. WallStreetWindow.com. Perhaps you're invested deeply. Perhaps you're not in deep enough. Maybe you're thinking about getting started. WallStreetWindow.com. Michael Swanson, the brilliant author of The War State, understood these trends professionally for many years, and now he gives you the benefit of his knowledge. WallStreetWindow.com. Go there now. Go there now. Go there now.
When a fan of the Ocelli Effect calls in to the Ocelli Effect.
I just wanted to call in and tell you and Michael Swanson and JP Sicilian, all of the guests that you have, how much I love your show. Always interesting. It's always informative. I just wanted to tell you in person on the phone. I mean, I love you. I love your show. I love everything you do. I will always be there to support you. You know that.
We appreciate you so much. You have no idea.
Thanks, and most of our fans just send hate mail and death threats.
Ocelli.com.
Do you like history, real history, that you were never taught in schools? Why? The Vietnam War, nuclear bombs and nation building in Southeast Asia. By author Mike Swanson, with new documentation never seen before. That'll open your eyes to events that led up to this. Why? The Vietnam War, nuclear bombs and nation building in Southeast Asia, 1945 through 1961. Get your copy today at Amazon.com. Why? The Vietnam War, by author Mike Swanson.
Uncle, I'll bet you remember the time when Benjamin Fulford said that the Asian Secret Society was going to dispatch ninjas to take out the Illuminati to change the entire world for the better.
That is never going to happen. That never did.
It never did it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because there's a lot of false promises.
It's fools? I can't say well.
We better not say and be polite. But there are no false promises at the Ochelli.com radio network.
That's exactly it. It's truth, the point, right to the point. And this is what I like. Straight to the point.
Ocelli.
It's ochelli.com.
Listen now.
Listen now.
This is James Corbett of CorbettReport.com, and you're listening to The Ocelli Effect at Ochelli.com.
Revelation through conversation.
Ochelli.com.
Or whatever.
Yeah, no.
And Smith Kent doesn't realize we're back to air because he's not hearing anything.
I don't, have any problem with anything. Anything anybody's done.
Kent needs to be interrupted. We are back live. Anyway, with the remaining 45 minutes of the Ocelli Effect tonight, I'm going to unmute Kent in a second, but I'm yelling to him, trying to tell him. We're going live. He didn't hear me. Anyways, Kent, now you hear me?
Oh, yeah. I already muted. I heard you before. Sorry, bro.
No, you were going still. The music had already played. I'm trying to do the introduction, and you're still going. You didn't hear me.
Oh, yeah. Me and Trip were just talking about hanging out and stuff. I didn't hear you at all. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's the damn phone.
Hey, look.
That's the problem, being a caller with a phone, one of these landlines.
Hey, look, it is what it is. So we are back to the rest of the show tonight, and we will go up until the 10 o'clock hour, as per usual. But this is the last time we're going to do the call-ins on Wednesdays, to my knowledge, because I'm turning that over to a producer. I got asked, by the way, in the break on Skype, why it is that I'm making these changes and stuff like that, and what's going on. And, well, look, I already discussed that it's because it's a little too hard for me to run everything now. But in addition to that, I was working on a deal to syndicate this show, okay, and to syndicate the network on more platforms. And that did not work out. And so, you know what? I'm just opening it up to new possibilities, and people that say they want to get involved, they want to help out, like I said, bringing in a couple of people that are going to serve as producers on the network, not just with my show, but maybe with everybody's show. I'll let them screw up mine first before I let them loose on anybody else. But a couple new producers, couple new hosts, and we'll see where it goes from here. You know, I don't have my name on it because it's an ego thing. I got my name on it because I wasn't very imaginative about coming up with a name. Okay, so that's all there is to it. So again, contact me any which way you want. There's plenty of ways to do it at ochelli.com. And let me know. You want to serve as a producer. You think you have some ideas, connections, stuff you want to do that would help get the media out there, whatever. Let me know, and we'll see if we can find a way to make that happen. And obviously, you know, like I've said many times, I don't have the money to pay people at the moment, but I was hoping I would have had that deal gone through. But who knows what the future holds. I mean, if there's a way that money comes in, it'll go back out, and it'll go back out to the people that helped make this happen. So it's that simple, but as is, I'm still struggling to do it all by myself. And with the help of people, though, that have contributed, and I'm not going to make a pitch for that right now. Although I will tell you that I was a little surprised about the Ace of Spades offer. Got a handful of those out there, and if you still want those, I still have some doubles from my collection. And I'm not signing a picture of myself, but I will sign an Ace of Spades and send it out to you in the mail if that's what you want. So just contact me and send me a mailing address. I got stamps. Done. Anyways, back to it. We were discussing one of the most serious issues of the day in my mind, which I don't have a full-on conspiracy theory for. I don't have the analytical wherewithal to pick up on all of it. All I see is a huge program where everything is being restricted, everything is being selectively limited. We're having scarcity implemented across the board. And it's about goods, it's about services, it's about transportation, it's about a lot of things. Of course, if you're part of the moneyed class, I don't think this worries you very much. But to me, it's not just, oh, they're out of my favorite, sugary cereal, okay? There is something else going on here where the components for computers, the stuff to fix your shoes, the stuff to get new shoes appears to be limited. Everything is appearing to be limited at this point in time, and it looks to me like the groundwork is being laid for something. I don't know what the point is. Yes, we are seeing the escalation as far as, well, a bit of inflation goes. That's part of the reality that, of course, if you listen to the MSM, well, we've had mild inflation, and only recently. Well, that's coronavirus, you know. No, it's not, and I've been talking about that for the past couple of years. Where are the reports on the inflation that are happening in real time? You go to a grocery store, you should know already, but they won't acknowledge it. And they're also not acknowledging that this goes way beyond, well, are there ships out there on, just off the coast of California? Maybe, but that would only be a small part of what's happening here. There should have been a way to compensate for that if that's the problem. Very much like when they told us about that barge that was twisted sideways in that one channel that jammed up, the global supply chain for a little while. I get that. That actually made some sense. But then when I saw they were going to say, well, this is going to be a thing that continues to residually affect things even after they got that thing loose, I said, hold on. Something is going on here. They gave you the hint, but they're not telling you what's really happening. And whether it's carrots or printer cartridges or whatever, only certain things are being allowed to flow through the supply chain. And I can't make consistent sense of it. I can't streamline why it is that, like Trip Pugh brought up, the new iPhone's available, right? But try and get...
Yeah, no problems getting that.
But try and get the thing to repair, an electronics piece at this point. Repair kits of all kinds. These guys that, they're cannibalizing
and
stuff.
And then we just get out of Afghanistan? Then we just pull out of there. And
well, here's the biggest thing about this as well. That kind of ties in definitely to supply chain, transportation, etc. Is that everybody knows that this is an issue. Everybody, if you work for a living, if you go to the grocery store and buy stuff, all of this stuff is happening. And there is another common thing that everybody sort of innately knows but isn't also talking about, is that in this time we are also seeing nobody address the important issues. I mean, we've got, it's like, and here's something that we all have known, that was foreseeable, is that it might not have come in the way of, are you vaccinated or not, but it's definitely you are the terrorist now, and we all knew that this day was coming. Domestic terrorism, if you care about your kids' education, if you have anything to say about what goes in and out of your body, if you have a problem with how much things cost, if you have anything to say about the way things are going and the people that are not addressing the important issues, dare you address an important issue earnestly. You are the problem, and we will turn the wing of the government, media, entertainment, and everybody that we have against you. You are the one that is causing all of these problems. You should shut up, go about your day, etc. All of these things mean something in the grand scheme of what we're talking about here, is that it's all getting turned back around on us, which we all knew eventually would happen one day.
Well, Trip, let me ask you a question.
I voted for this guy, or I voted for that guy. Or it's truly, we are drawing a line in the sand as the cabal, as the power structure, and you are to blame, and we're going to make sure everybody that's on our side knows that you are to blame.
See, now, Trip, I got to ask you a question, because we know that always there is a pronouncement ahead of the action. And I know you got enough of a memory that you could probably travel along with me back to 2014, when all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, and this is, remember, pre-Trump, and quite frankly, this is before even the Bundy Ranch got fully underway, everything. There was this solid couple of weeks where former military people, former intelligence people, I say former, my tongue's stuck in the side of my mouth because... former CIA, anyway, former intel people, former army people, talking heads, former prime minister of the UK.
For Fox, MSNBC, and CNN, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, but hold on.
New spokesman.
Yeah, but whatever. And the former prime minister for the UK, right? Okay. All these people came out, and what did they start saying, Trip? Around the time that, we definitely had already studied Cass Sunstein's white paper and all this, they started saying conspiracy theorists are terrorists. And even General Wesley Clark came out, for some bizarre reason, started talking about, what we need to do with these people that can't, fall in line, is send them to camps. And I know that people started to freak out about the Jade Helm thing a little bit after this and all that, and I told people back then, relax, because that is a simple test. That's a beta test. That's not even the real event. Calm down. Everybody's like, no, they're going to do it now. I said, no. You guys don't understand intelligence operations. This is them running a real-world simulation. You understand? And now they've gamed you out. And that's what they started to do in earnest in 2014. This is pre-Trump. This is pre-coronavirus. This is, I don't know, maybe we were still dealing with swine flu. I forget which pandemic's which. The thing is...
But what you're seeing now is the flushing out of all of these major institutions that don't want to go along with the program. You're seeing a mass exodus of military personnel, healthcare workers, teachers, all of the people that are the only people that you can really rely on that aren't getting, the boot are, poll workers and people, the infrastructure people, blue collar workers, that do the power lines and make sure the phones work and all of that. But what we're seeing now is a mass flush of anybody in these major institutions and roadways, metaphorically speaking, roadways of things that make all of this work. So now your teachers are going to be nobody except people that go along with the government indoctrination programs that are fully vaxxed, don't question anything. Your healthcare workers are going to be the same people. And you know what I mean? Like, all of these people, it's a single straight-line ideology that is going to run the entire show from here on out. So the military people, you just got woke military people. You're not going to have anybody that's not willing to go along with the program is cast into outer darkness, and that's just the way they're running things now. So, this is a bigger thing right now. What's going on is flushing all of that.
See, that's the thing. I actually want Vance to comment on what you just said, because you know what, Trip, I'm going to be objective here for a second. You and I might be given to the darker side of the conspiracy culture. we might tend to think that way. Vance is actually a little more of a level-headed guy than myself. I get upset. I see conspiracies. I see criminal activity everywhere. I know what it looks like. Okay. Maybe Vance is a little more level-headed about this. What are your thoughts about what me and Tripp are discussing here?
Well, I mean, the whole scenario leads to the conditioning that they've been using on us for a long time. I mean, this goes back way before 2014, and to all the other viruses and Ebola and Zika.
Oh no! Listen, we were on the road for a long time, Vance. I understand. We were on the road long time. I mean, I talk all the time about when I was born in the 70s, right? And I'll tell you, I see we were on that road a long time. I'm just saying that in 2014, I saw a signpost, where it was like
it's starting to come to fruition, I guess, is the point. Is that it's not just a theory. It's like you can. It's whether you wish to tag malevolence onto it or not. Is whether, quote, conspiracy theories hold any true value. Is that, do you really think that this is a nefarious and malevolent thing that's going on, or do you think people are incompetent and don't know any better? And I usually wane on the side of malevolence. It's done on purpose. There's no way.
Exactly, and because they would rather appear to be incompetent than criminal. And
right.
So they got people convinced that they're just so stupid. Democrats they don't know. The Republicans they don't know. So it doesn't matter in the end because they're all washing the same hand. But
right.
But the whole level of it is all malevolent. The entire the new world order. They keep saying this is going to be the new new world order or whatever the phrase is.
No, I got it, but
Jesus, look at what's
here's
happening in Australia.
Well, here's
it's like, what the hell? You guys are a prison colony. If you want to go back to y'all's start,
there you go. See, and here's
in Australia.
Here's the other thing about
Australia is one of those beta tests. That they've been using Australia as a beta test for all this stuff that they're doing, and they got people so unconcerned with any of things that are important, and so distracted by things that aren't important and aren't true, but half the female bartenders at this bar can quote off football stats and basketball stuff, but they don't know anything about what reality is, how reality, unreality, whatever you want to call it, is affecting their everyday lives just because they don't want to pay attention to it.
No, I got that. And I don't remove incompetence completely from the equation. I just don't think it's the primary factor. Because I guarantee you there is some legitimate, honest, organic incompetence also. But you see, sometimes incompetent people are what? Useful idiots. And
well, you also have a bunch of ABC organizations that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing a lot of times, which is put off as incompetence,
Right.
but it really is malevolence, and then there's a fall guy or a patsy or whatever, you know.
Well, it's
But I'm just saying,
compartmentalization.
they've been telling this for years. They've had all these, you know, Agenda 2012 and Agenda 20 and Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, and they tell everybody all the time what they're doing. You know, this is our plan, is to have this world where, you know, we got every cow and chicken and turkey, you know, chipped, and, you know, we know where what you buy when you buy it. And all in the name of this and that, and then they've set up this whole pandemic thing is the whole, this is a pretty effective final push, because I've been saying for a while, it's like I've been concerned for a lot of times in my life about, you know, what's going on, but this lately it's like, yeah, this COVID is being used as an agenda.
Well, see, they tested the weaponization of people's emotions, and they've got that down. Now it's time to test what it is we can do with them. And really, to me, COVID-19 is a test. It's not really the destructive thing that could, because, you know, the people that screamed it's a bioweapon and all this, not a very good bioweapon, because it doesn't kill enough people. Not right away, anyway. I mean, do we have the ability to know what it'll do long term?
Swine flu. I mean, swine flu. Remember, people were going to get vaccinated with that, and that was whatever it was, 10 years ago. And people were going to get vaccinated while they were sick. And I had coworkers and people that I knew that, like, if they even had a cold and went and got vaccinated for swine flu, they were knocking on death's door out 3-4 weeks, you know, before they could fully recover during that time. And that's when I first got hip to the real, like, the vaccine hype thing, you know, with a lot of that. Not to say all vaccines are terrible, you know, or whatever. It's like, I'm sure there's not anything crazy.
Well, there's a difference in
polio
vaccines, immunizations, and you know, all this stuff they're pushing now.
Which the CDC is changing their terminology on that every week, it seems.
Well,
now it doesn't mean, you can't say inoculation means that you can't get it anymore. Now they're like, no, it just protects.
Yeah,
you know,
protects.
It's like, no, that's what vaccine means. It's like, you can't get it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we've all known since time immemorial.
Technically, plywood sort of protects you from a bullet, but not very reliable.
Right.
Okay, I'm just saying. Is it better than just taking the bullet head on? Most times, but not much. Anyway, that's not even the... You see, here we go again, though. This is still not the big play. This is just moving the pieces. You know, when you play chess...
Right.
The first thing is you got to position your pieces properly, and then you make your move to actually, you know, trap the king. All right, and
this is where
they're always making a power move. This is the new 9/11, basically. Always taking a power move. The other thing they do with this one was he'd be able to use it as an excuse to do their bailouts, and for the first time ever, even Trump bragged about it. Said, "I've never signed with a T before." A $6 trillion bailout to the bankers, the rich, the Wall Street ruling elite, and people got $1,000 and $200 or something. $1,000 out of it. Oh, that's where all those $6 trillion went. Are you kidding me?
No, $6 trillion
that was what
doesn't.
we were talking about over a year ago on this show.
$6 trillion does not go to $1,200 checks. It didn't happen that way. Okay. You know, that's a weird misconception where it's like, oh, they gave everybody $1,200. That must be $6 trillion. Please do some math. No. Okay, it just...
Oh, I know, and I've had people argue with me about that. You know, people are my friends that are like, I'm like, okay, I don't care how much the military costs, whatever. We spend $900 billion a year just about on defense budget, on our own defense budget. I mean, a fraction of that could end world hunger.
See, since you bring that up, Kent, since you bring that up, let's pass a question around here. Wait, let's pass a question around, okay? Because this is an important one, and I'd like everybody to get a turn at this one. We just disengaged. No matter how it is, it was a disaster, and in my opinion, it was going to be a disaster because that's what it's meant to be. In Afghanistan, after 20 years of engagement over there, all right, we departed, you know, the military, United States, right? I mean, you know, not any of us on this call, but I'm saying.
But China got in there and got the resources down. That's why everything's more expensive.
Yeah, not even
the shipping problems that you guys were talking about a few minutes ago.
Not even
that's
my
why
point.
When I brought up and said we just pulled out of Afghanistan. That's what I'm talking about.
Not even
we
my
don't
point.
Have
Hold on.
Resources anymore.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
No, see, it didn't challenge the resources right away. All those things take time. That's not even the issue yet. I've got a question for everybody I want to pass around, which is this. If we just ended a 20-year war, can somebody explain to me why it is the military budget that is being laid out next is not lower? Because you figure, if you're not engaged in a war, in quotes, and you're pulling out of different places...
Well, go ahead.
Kent, hold on. I want to pass this around to everybody. So let's start with Trip. I mean, that's a big question to me.
Kent, let Kent go first because he's chomping at the bit. But Kent, go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Kent.
Well, I mean, I'm going to end it the same way I'm always going to end it. It's because they're all controlled by the military-industrial complex. This is nothing new. They lied to get us into Iraq and in Afghanistan too. It's all about. It's a big power play. It's a big money play. They want Iran as the end goal, but look how much the Middle East has been disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Look, and who does that benefit?
No, I got you, but it still doesn't quite answer how it is that we don't have a decrease.
That's the $1 million question. Who does it benefit? Who benefits?
See, but we know how that works. You break it out.
Benefits from this stuff.
There's a handful of companies, actually. There's like 5 companies that really mainly benefit, and they're subsidiaries under different names and different contractors, etc.
And there's also an entity in the Middle East
of course.
Ready to expand even farther, and we've seen how they expand already in their own territory.
Yeah, I get all that, but still, the question stands. I know that, but still.
Benefit.
Okay, always. They always do, and that's another thing.
There's a few people out there that come out there and say that and defend it on air or anywhere else.
There's a lot of people that say
I'm not against Jewish people. I'm not against any of that stuff. I'm not, any of those stupid labels you get. I'm just saying it like it is. This is the foreign policy that's done by the United States, the Zionist bankers, Israel, and England. This is how it works. We're the muscle.
Yeah, there's a triumvirate. There's a triad.
I agree with that we're the muscle, but I'll answer the question.
Well, see, there's but really quickly, there's a triad of things that supports the criminal state of Israel, in my mind, which has the largest open air concentration camp on the planet. Period. So you're not the only one who's willing to say something like that on air. Just so you know, but. Trip.
I know. I'm thankful. That's why I'm on the show with you, brother. We're always brothers.
It's just, listen, I got a slightly different view on it, but really it all comes down to the same thing. And honestly,
however slight that is, it's not slight enough. So.
Exactly. It all comes down to the same thing. This is the thing that should not be. It's that simple. Okay? So if we can agree on that without a problem. But Trip, I'm curious about this one particular issue where it's like you'd figure, I mean, in any business model, if you've got less business to do, well, it's going to cost you less to operate, right? Well, what happened here? Go ahead.
You also have to look at. There's a lot of different factors here, and anybody can say what they want to, but I'd like to just say you can disagree with me or whatever. But at the same time. Around the time that the pandemic was hit up, part of Trump's deal was replenishing military equipment and bombs and whatever that Obama had depleted, which I think no one could argue that because dropped more bombs than anybody, any president ever, Obama did at that point. So rebuilding military was happening during that. Why it's happening now is even though you are pulling out of some places, let's be honest, you're pulling out of Afghanistan. It's just one place, and Kent's right, we have been the muscle for the Western Hemisphere for, at least since World War II. But here's the unknown factor here, and this is purely speculation, but you have to look at how much military and the military-industrial complex has been used domestically, especially as of late. Just look at the past 2 years alone. I mean, you can say what you want to about it, but you have a lot more domestic use of military operations, military equipment, whatever you want. And we all know that a parachute costs $3 million if it's in the defense spending budget.
Well, yeah,
so, you could say what you want to about that, and a hammer cost $100,000 and, whatever. But you see a lot. The reason that it's continued to increase or not gone down any, we left everything that we had there to Afghanistan. So you got the Taliban driving around in brand new tanks and choppers and whatever. Just everything was left over there, so they can do with it what they will. But you're also, the point I really want to make about that is that you're going to see a lot more at-home domestic measures taken with that quote-unquote defense spending.
I got you. Look, I don't disagree with the domestic idea. However, I do disagree with a couple of things here. When it comes to leaving stuff behind and all that, that's not the first time that ever happened.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
And there is the other benefit everybody forgets about. Who's going to maintain that stuff? See, there's going to be plenty of money in making those choppers run if they're going to keep them. You can't just, take them out from under the tarp every once in a while.
Yeah, you got 5 to 10 years, and then they'll be rendered useless. I mean, these people hump goats and can't read. You know what I mean? I don't know what the...
Right. So, obviously, somebody's going to make a fortune doing that, first of all. Second of all, I disagree with the thing about, Obama slowing stuff down, because here's a couple of facts people forget. Under Trump, the drone strikes didn't slow down. Obama went to a whole new level with drone strikes and using up equipment, that's for sure. But this has been ceaseless since, let me think now. Since the arms race began in the 80s, this has been ceaseless. There has been, one military budget that wasn't an increase? Okay? And the contracts and the other hidden costs and the stuff that's off the books, it's all still being developed. It never stopped. To me...
And then you go into
Trump assassinated somebody with our government.
Come on. I'm not making a rah-rah Trump, statement here. I'm just saying, that's what had happened, and it did slow down, comparatively speaking, because we didn't have as many things going on as we did during the Obama years that had made that. And as far as the price tag goes, you can thank the Federal Reserve.
Point to me what was less. Well, help me out.
We might as well start saying a billion, jajillion, gazillion.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm on that point with you, but I got a question for you about this. Point to me what it is that we actually got out of during the Trump time. Because it appears to me as though we didn't get out of anything. We shuffled things around. Nobody even figured out what happened to the troops that went to Saudi Arabia. But, because, pay no attention to that down the memory hole. But I see continuity of government here. And I don't care if it's an R, a D, or a red tie, or a blue tie. It's continuity. And the one thing these guys always agree on is continue to feed the military-industrial complex. That's been there since, I was born.
We knew that with the Trump Saudi Arabia arms deal, where everybody was like, what the fuck is this? But what the hell is this? And Trump going over there to do all that. And I also think that, you could say what you want to about it, but I also think, it was kind of like hey, you're going to do this, as much of a puppet as any other president's been with certain things, going hey, this is our agenda, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to make things very difficult for you if you don't go along with it.
Well,
so, hey, we're selling $500 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia or whatever, whatever it was.
Yeah, see, apparently that turned into a critical argument with me for a while, because it was why is this guy any less of a puppet than anybody else? When he came out, his first executive order was to do what? Unhandcuff Big Pharma as fast as he could. Gee, that becomes a factor a couple years later. Yep. I'm just saying, it's one of those things that happens. Meanwhile, we got another caller on the line, but I wanted to give Vance a chance to address the overall question before we run out of time and then get to the new caller. So, Vance, you got any thoughts on this discussion about, it seems like the price tag might go down I'm asking this question partially knowing the answer, okay? But either way, doesn't it seem like the price tag ought to go down on the military-industrial complex contribution, when we're suddenly not involved in the 20-year-long war? Or is it just me?
Well, the game is the game, and obviously, once you've conquered the world, you can afford to pull out some of your stuff here and there. So, either, sorry, somebody's leaving right now, but if you're hearing all that, but if you've already got everything you need out of some place, well, it's no problem to move on. And obviously, there's, all kinds of reasons why they shouldn't have been there and how they could have done this or that different or whatever, but in the long run they're just shifting the attention around to somewhere else, and it's not just going to stop, or we're not going to notice any of that. And obviously the whole COVID thing and all this in my mind is just a controlled demolition that they're using that and other things to, that's just a distraction,
Right.
There's nothing changed in
Plus,
Afghanistan, over the last 20 years. There's nothing that we
right.
made any better anywhere we've been, anywhere in any of these actions in Libya and Syria and anywhere. They're all worse off now than they were before we went there to liberate them from their evil dictators. So
yeah, funny how that works. Funny how that works. Plus...
And it's not necessarily the people controlling the military aren't controlling the world or anything. It's the same, cartel that's been controlling everything. Everybody's looking at Israel and the Bank of International
Follow the money.
Settlements.
Yeah.
Well, the Bank of International Settlements is what controls all the money of everything everywhere. In the Western world sense.
Right.
And where do they live?
Well, and here's the thing about this, Vance.
How do they benefit from our wars?
All right, I want to get to the other.
Jewish.
Yeah. No, I got you. I want to get to the other caller, but here's the other plus about that I need to add is that, the other thing not considered in my question is, well, just because you don't need money for Afghanistan today, you're going to need money for the next Afghanistan, and I'm sure those plans are already drawn up. Let's not forget that. So that's a thing, much to Kent's point earlier about what's next. Meanwhile, we got an anonymous caller on the line who has, I guess, their caller ID blocked somehow. But either way, you are on the air.
This is Michael Conley. I just wanted to call in and say hi to everybody.
Hey, what's up, Michael? I know you. We were just talking, and I'm glad. I knew you'd like this show, man. You're commenting on it.
It's a damn good show. I really like it. But somebody made this point earlier, and I wanted to reiterate it. The real answer is follow the money, and that goes with anything that goes on in this country. Somebody's making money every time they take a step, and it certainly isn't me or the people who are like me. So, just to give you a point, a good point about this, let's see, Pfizer.
It's not me and Chuck either making all that money, so just let you know.
Yeah, but Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson are the three biggest manufacturers of this so-called vaccine that they've got for us. But that's interesting, because if you look at the latest stock portfolios of the major money makers in Congress right now, those are their top three stocks.
Yeah,
and every
Pelosi
one
made
of them,
a killing.
Yeah,
I think Pelosi made more than anybody off of that. So.
Oh yeah, she did. And the sad part about it is, there's a company called Novavax, which went with a totally different idea as far as the vaccine was concerned. The problem of it is, I had a doctor on my show last Monday night that explained to the audience everything there is to explain. You know, he's got his own clinic. He's PhD, works in Houston. But the interesting thing is, Novavax vaccine comes about looking at it in a totally different way, in the way we used to get vaccines. They give you a very, very weak case of COVID with their vaccine and let your own immunity system build up around that. Whereas these other vaccines all have bizarre things in them, not to mention the fact that when the virus attaches itself to one of the amino acids or whatever the case may be in your system, once it leaves a shell that forever keeps your body trying to get rid of it. Fact of the matter is, once you get COVID, you're never going to get rid of it. It's always there. The question is, how much are you going to suffer with it? But it's all about the money. They don't want Novavax. They don't want them putting out theirs because it's cheap, it's inexpensive. The vaccines that these other three companies have, you have to store it at minus 70 degrees, or otherwise it goes bad. Novavax, you can keep in a regular refrigerator, just like penicillin. Doesn't have to have any special requirements. So, if people are going to get these vaccines, I would say, shop around, because you don't always know what you're getting in this world.
Well, the interesting thing about the Novavax...
We'll never sit there and say that the media, the government, no, just vaccination. Never mind natural. No one's talking about monoclonal antibodies. Nobody's talking about antibody treatment. Nobody's talking about natural immunity. It might as well not even be a thing, because nobody wants to say that. You've even got Fauci going, well, that's an interesting thing that we might have to discuss. When? You're on your next TV appearance.
Well, they've been.
Can we do it? Can we do it then?
In fairness, they have introduced the idea of natural immunity, and they've talked about it a bit. And you know what they've said is that it's not good enough. That's been the talking point over the past 10 days that they just throw in there, no context or anything. But when it comes up, they say, "Well, what about somebody who's gotten COVID already?" And how about, no, that's diminished, especially if they got it, more than 6 months ago.
You never know. We're doing some things, and all right, high five.
You got it.
Just like everything else, they've changed the definition of what natural immunity is,
Well, and the funny thing is, what Earl was talking about just now, I remember reading in medical textbooks, because I used to actually, sit down and read medical textbooks, the history of vaccination. Which is funny because, people go, okay, you're an anti-vax guy. Well, yes and no. I'm not against the principle of vaccination. The idea is actually fairly sound if it is done properly. But all these other things they keep adding in, this is where the problem is. These preservatives, these nanoparticles,
mercury.
The mercury, the thimerosal, all this other crap is the problem. The idea of, yes, you expose somebody to a controlled amount or controlled, exposure of something, and then they build their own natural immunity is actually where that all started and made sense and worked. Now, do you trust these pharmaceutical companies to do any of this? That's the other issue. Okay, and I'm not even going to bother to get into the track record because I got like 5 minutes left here. But I do want to thank everybody who called in and call everybody by name. Let's see. First of all, Vance called in. Then we had Jimmy James. Then we had Trip Pugh. We had Earl has called in here. And I think that covers everybody for tonight that called in on the show that got through. And, of course, Spent Ken is with us for, what might be the last call-in that we do on Wednesdays. But, of course, I'm going to continue the one on Fridays. So anytime anybody wants to call in on Friday night, the number will be the same, and that's going to happen. And long as my eyeballs continue to work at all, I'm going to keep trying to do that. Okay, so everybody's welcome to join
I'll chime in on Fridays here and there. I normally work Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, without exception. So that's why, like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, I'm good for doing, like, radio, like, whatever it is,
Well, Mondays are going to turn a little loose too soon. So Mondays are going to change up. Wednesdays are changing up. Thursdays are changing up. I'm keeping the Tuesday and Friday structure basically the same, except it'll be Donald Jeffries every other week outside of Pierce Redmond in the second hour, and Mike Swanson will be back next week. So there you have it. That's the way we're going to go for as I can tell. And with new volunteer producers.
Spank will be around. If anybody's wondering, Spank will be around. I'm part of the Ochelli family here.
Exactly. So
there's no doubt about it.
And hopefully we'll get to the outdoor anarchy or anarchy outdoors as soon as you get into development
Anarchy
on it.
Outdoors will be coming soon, guys.
There you go.
Even if it's just little pieces of video from here, starting out, it will happen.
So there you have it. I'd like to give everybody a chance to say something on the way out, though. And we'll start with Vance. Real quick, Vance, your parting shot for this particular episode.
I thought it was good, and it's a shame that it had to be the last one where we had multiple callers calling in. So
Well, we can always do it on Friday, you see. And I don't know, look, I'm open to whatever's in the future. I mean, if one of these producers says let's do open lines, that's what we'll do. But I'm going to try and make this a group effort over here. So that's the way that's going to go. Anyway, but it's the last Wednesday where it's scheduled this way automatically. So.
And I just wanted to say I got your package with the Ochelli stickers and everything, and one of them's on the door of the bar that goes into the dance hall, and there's a bunch of stickers that are bands and people put there on the doors that have been here for a long time. So
awesome. Anybody who wants one of those?
Recognized there. I got the cards. I really like the 3, and one of my buddies asked me for a sticker that I put on the door to put on his guitar case, so we're spreading the word.
Nice, I appreciate that. Anybody wants those, just contact me and I will mail them to you. I still got stamps and I'll just drop them in an envelope if you give me a mailing address. So there you go, the Ochelli Effect and Ochelli.com stickers. And I have a few handfuls left. But Vance, I hope to hear from you on some other shows coming up soon, along with everybody else. And let's see, who is next? Well, that would be Trip Pugh because we lost Jimmy James. So there's the order. Trip, parting shot.
Hey, man, just glad to call in and muck it up with you guys, So it's been nice, and I'll start checking in a little bit more often. So good conversation. Hope we got somewhere. Hope we fleshed some things out, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Excellent. Trip Pugh, everybody. And you know what? I appreciate you because you kicked us back on track. So put Trip on hold, and then that leaves us with, I believe, the proper title is The Dashboard Outlaw. Am I right or wrong?
If you're talking about me, I'm not the Dashboard Outlaw, that's for sure. But the world's in a hell of a mess. I don't just cleaning it up. Sorry I have such a bad way of looking at it, but we're in a deep, deep chasm that may never, ever let us out.
All right. Well, look, man, I'll tell you.
Thanks for calling in, bro.
I love that voice.
Oh, no problem.
That voice is great.
It was cool to talk to you, but go ahead.
Yeah,
it's a good show. Thank you.
No, appreciate you, man. Your voice is great. It's just you reminded me of somebody, and so I made an inside joke there. I bet that Spent Kent got it, but I appreciate you for calling in, man. I love your voice. But Spent Kent, that gives you the final word.
I love it. Thanks for calling in, and it's cool to hear from Trip. By the way, Trip and me on the same airwaves together. The first time half of the Horsemen's been around the Horseman of Friday night in a long time, so that was kind of cool. Good to talk to Vance. Me and Vance are always going to be around. This show, it was great. We broke some ground. I think we educated some people in the teamwork we had, and whatever happens in the future, I'm always around, and I got my outdoors channel coming up. So the Ochelli family, here I am. The Spent one, always here.
There you
go. Maybe I'll bring some things into the future, like some people we used to know, they want to do a little something. Maybe we'll get some work with some other people here, too, coming up. But the sky's the limit, guys. We just got to wake people up and spread the love, man. Spread the love.
Exactly.
Spread the love.
Exactly.
All right, everybody.
Let's keep doing that. And, the future is still an open question because it's still in the future. Anyways, no matter who you are, where you are, I want you to know that I am merely Ochelli, and all of you are indeed the effect. I appreciate you all. Thank you for those that have contributed recently. I'll read out everybody's name shortly, but you know, every little bit has helped immensely, and looking forward to working with more of you.
Will be around the building here and there for times to come.
There you go. And you never know, he might pop up as a surprise visitor here and there, and maybe with his own show. We'll see what the future holds, but until then, see ya.